anyway, so we go around Idaho. The whole, the state looks lovely, and
Yeah,
we
she's
go
like,
by the
yeah,
Loman
cool.
fire, and it was bare, and it was 23 years after the fact.
Still.
Yeah, 22 years after the fact, and it's still bare to this day, actually. Um,
Why? Well, I guess that's a whole nother. I know it's probably an hour answer, but why?
uh, Short version is fires burn more intensely than they did historically, and so we've killed the ability for natural regeneration. If you think about it, like it used to be, like some trees were like propagate like through fire, like a sequoia, lodgepole pines. They can't even like their seeds, their cones won't even open up without a fire, right?
Are you telling me that the recent fires up by Chambers Lake and Red Feather and all that? Are you telling me that that's not coming back then?
That's right. So for Colorado here, if you go out to the Hayman, which burned in 2002, so to give you a sense of scale there, the Buffalo Creek fire in 1996 was 14,000 acres. At the time, that was the largest fire in Colorado state history.
Okay.
10 years or 6 years later, the Hayman Creek fire, 140,000 acres burned. And, a couple of years ago, we had several fires of 300,000 acres plus, right?
Yes.
And so there's been a few studies been done on the Hayman, which talk about that, like natural regeneration, assuming a stable climate, won't occur for in some areas for as much as 1,000 years.
What? Okay. Yeah. Now you got me. Okay. Holy shit. I did not know that. All right. Sorry. I didn't mean to go down this path. I got you off track there a little bit.
No, you're good, man. I mean, that was what got me into it, right?
Wow,
Which is like,
okay.
This is very much an out of sight, out of mind problem. And like any Coloradan that I talk to about the Hayman, they go, if they were here when it happened, they go, yeah, I remember that, man. It seemed like it was big. We used to go hang out down there all the time, but since the fire, not so much. And like, this is a fire that's like Denver's backyard. It's an hour away.
Yeah.
Right. Huge, outdoor loving Coloradan group, would go and camp there, and now they don't. They just change their behaviors and they don't go there anymore, and they forget that it's gone.
Wow. So I'm just going to pause there for a second. So, what is it? Cameron Pass? Is that what it is? Yeah. What's the pass up there by Chambers?
Yeah, Cameron Pass.
So now, see, it's interesting when you're describing this to me. All right, so this is how ignorant I am on the topic. I'm thinking, okay, there was a shit ton of beetle kill up there. Freaking 70% of the trees were dead anyway. Maybe this is good. It clears it out and it'll all grow back. That's what I'm thinking. But what you're telling me is no, that's not what's going to happen.
Yeah, these fires, especially in those beetle kill, because it's so dry tinder until it takes a couple of decades for that beetle kill to decay enough that it's not as huge a fire risk. Anyways, it burned just hot as blazes, and it burns up all the seed and all the seed sources. And so the problem is not that trees won't grow there; it's that there's no seed for it.
I see that. All right, now we're getting right into what. Okay, now I see where this is going.
So that's part of it. But there is also because historically fires used to burn in such a way that you'd have in some areas where you'd have a patch where it'd get really hot and it'd burn out a stand, and then you'd have kind of a meadow complex. But then others areas it'd be lower intensity, it'd kill off it'd burn out the deadwood and the low small trees and things like that.
Yeah.
And so you get this patchwork across a forest where you have different. But now when you have 300,000 acres of there's just no way that the seeds can get in, and you have changed the microclimate there as well, which is it's just baked hot. There's no shade for that little meadow system that would normally have, and so even grasses have a hard time sometimes.
That's the way it looks southwest of Medicine Bow, kind of on the Wyoming side up in there, where that's the way it looks. I mean, it's just it's just nothing.
Yeah. I mean, to be blunt, we're losing our forests. That's what's happening in the West.